Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about something called Tennis, released by Alex Ng and Henry Harris Presents. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you about an item called tennis. Okay, and this is in fact quite a surprising item to me, and I'll explain to you why, when we get to it. Okay, but let me explain to you what the effect is all about. Okay, so what happens in performance is you bring out one of these, okay, a tennis ball, and you toss it into the audience. Okay, whoever catches it, you invite them to stand, and you tell them, that we're going to be making some random decisions to form a playing card. The first person, you have them decide on either red or black. Okay, and whatever they decide is what they use. They really do have a free choice. So let's say the first person decides they want black. You have them toss the ball to somebody else. The second person is asked to stand, and you tell them, right? Because the first person has chosen black. Do they want the card to be a spade or a club? Let's say they choose spade, okay, and you have them toss the ball to a third spectator. The third spectator is then asked to decide on 13 spades, okay, so the ace of spades all the way to the king. Let's just say they decide on the king of spades, okay. At this point, you invite that person to join you on stage. You take the ball from them and you talk about the conditions, right? Three random decisions were made and they arrived at the king of spades. At this point, you show that the ball isn't a ball at all, but it's in fact a box, okay? And you now very slowly and fairly open the box like so. Inside the box, they will see one folded playing card. At this point, you can remove the card yourself, or they can remove the card, okay? And then when you unfold the card is seen to be the named card, the king of spades. So that is the effect, okay? That is the effect of tennis, where a thought of card appears inside the tennis ball, okay? So let me just show you the tennis ball, all right? It's just like that. There are images of this prop as well on the Henry Harris website, so do have a look at that as well. And there's a hinge at the back, obviously, and that's where, it opens up like that, okay? And the folded playing card is just sitting in there, and the spectator can remove it themselves if they wish. So let's talk about what you receive along with the package, in addition to the props, right? So you'll get a tutorial video, and on the tutorial video, Alex Ng as well as Henry Harris will take you through the entire project. They'll tell you all about how to prepare yourself, and the props to perform the routine. They will give you some ideas about how to speed up, all right, executing the moves that are required. And then they'll also give you some ideas, further ideas to use the prop, all right, because this is quite a versatile prop. Once you play with it, once you fiddle around with it, I'm sure you will too come up with more applications, besides just the thought of card to the tennis ball. So I mentioned earlier that this was a bit of a surprising item, okay, and let me explain why, all right? Because when I first got this package from Henry, I was kind of, skeptical, I suppose. I was a bit, all right, it's quite a cute idea, I suppose. And then I decided to just give it a go, okay? And the more I practiced it, the more I rehearsed it, the more I kind of felt that, maybe this could work, I think it would make as a great opening effect, right? So currently at this point in time, in Singapore, I'm performing regularly, weekly in fact, at a local magic bar, okay, here in Singapore, and I gave this routine a go. I performed it for my shows, and I haven't stopped since. I've been using it, I think to date I've already performed it at least, 7-8 times now, all right, and I think it's a really, really great routine, and I was surprised during the performance because the reactions came obviously, all right, when you reveal the card at the end, and it's the thought of card, there's a strong reaction there. But there was a reaction before that as well when I showed the audience that this was actually a box. And when I opened up the ball like that, and when they saw that inside the box there was a card in there, the reactions went, it was like through the roof already. Every single time people were just so amazed at this, and I think I know why. Magic gives us a feeling of amazement, but I think a big part of it also comes from surprise. you know, and people just don't expect this and they don't see this coming at all. I think the effect would be different if you were to, well, I don't know, hand out a balloon and you know, there's a folded playing card inside maybe, right? And the balloon is tossed around and then people name, you know, colors, suits and the value. Then when you pop the balloon, the card comes out. You know, it's kind of like an expected thing, but with this, you know, trust me, okay, when you perform this, if you do get this and if you perform this, you will get a reaction already once you open the box and people see the card in there. So yes, having performed this a couple of times already, you know, I can safely tell you that this is an incredible opening effect. You know, I really like this a lot and I'm going to continue using this actually. And a little fun story, because at the bar itself, I do like a back-to-back show, right? I've got two slots. So at the first show, I did this, okay, with the thought of playing card. For the second show, I forgot to bring along a spare envelope for the confabulation that I used to end the show. And so I kind of skipped the opening routine using this, and I ended up using this to close the show. All right, using it as a confabulation thing. So I tossed the ball out, someone named a country, the second person named a celebrity, the third person named a color and an animal, that kind of a thing. And they tossed the ball back to me, and then I opened it up, and inside was a folded piece of paper, right, about this size. Someone removed it, they read out the prediction, and you know, it was just really great. You know, it played really, really well. So at that point, I realized that this is something that is quite versatile. So enough about the effect itself, and I think you know already, you know, I like this, okay? And let's talk about the method, okay? Because I think most of you will be interested in the method, and I don't think I'm revealing too much at this point because the trailer does tell this to you as well, I suppose, so I can say it. It uses an index. Okay, there's an indexing system that is involved with this particular approach, okay, to producing the thought of card to the ball, okay, and the indexes, okay, it's a 2-pocket index. I think I can say that much, and they measure about, I don't know, like maybe 14 centimeters by 11 centimeters, you know, that kind of a size, and you will have one of each color on each side. Okay, so you require 2 pants pockets for this. I do suppose, well, many of you would probably have this idea as well, you know, if you could just kind of, you know, magician's choice. The first round, okay, so name a color. If you just choose to use the red cards, you know, get rid of the blacks somehow verbally, okay, and then you can just use one index, okay, in one pocket. All right, the benefits of that is that you can just, you know, always know that the card will be always kind of in your left or your right pocket, okay, because at this point, if using the full index of 52 playing cards, you'd have to kind of get the color first before deciding which hand goes where, right? And then you'd have to practice the move to do the load, okay, with both hands, right? It's not difficult, but you know, that's something that you have to consider. So yes, it uses the index, you know, and so any playing card can be named. Whatever they say is what you use. So about the load, okay, it's not difficult, but I believe you will see something if you are looking for it. Okay, so if you're burning the moment, you will see some, you know, some moves, but I think within the course of the routine, you know, with a spectator coming up, you know, to you and then giving you the ball, and then you just doing the move, doing the load while you interact with them and say, you know, you call attention to the audience again. The first person decided on the color, the second one decided on the suit. You know, that kind of a thing with the interaction. It's very well covered. It just takes just very quick, right? Just a couple of seconds and you're off and running. So with a bit of practice, you know, and familiarity with the prop, you should have no problems whatsoever. There are 2 methods to producing the effect. Okay, one is the load, you know, from the index, directly from the index, and then the other method is it's a switch. All right, so if you use the switch method, it enables you to very cleanly, once the ball comes back to you, very quickly, immediately open it up and show them that there's a card inside there, and then you would do the switch. Okay, it's a mechanical switch, and I think it's a good moment to do that kind of a switch as well, because again, as I said, the moment you open up the ball and they see the card in there, there is, well, something that Jim Steinmeier calls a psychological climax. All right, they already know that that is going to be the card, right? So at that point, they're already kind of reacting. And, you know, when you open up the ball and they see that there and they go, oh my gosh, that's when you do the switch, right? It becomes an invisible moment. So yes, there are two methods. One is just a load and one is using the switch. Either one kind of works. For me personally, I prefer the load, you know, because the switch method requires a bit of reset, which I found to be a little bit fiddly. Okay, so currently for now, I'm just going with the load method. So yeah, you know, I think there's really nothing much to say about this. It's a really simple idea, but just so good, you know. As a magic item, I think it really plays superbly, you know. And what I like about it, as I discovered, is the moment of surprise, all right, that people get when you open the ball and they see that, you know, it's actually a box and there's a card in there. Okay, so this is a really nice moment. I've enjoyed delivering this moment so many times now, and I know I will be continuing to perform this in my show. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, you can use it to reveal billets, you know, and so you can also use it to produce like bills, you know, if you've got a bill signed, you know, and stuff like that. You know, make a bill vanish somehow, do a chop cup routine, have the ball appear as the final load, and then open up the ball at the end and show them that the bill is inside. You know, that kind of a thing. So there are many ways to, you know, go about this, and I think there are many kind of potential presentational angles as well, you know, and applications that you can use with this. So yeah, I like this a lot. You know, I'm going to continue using this, and this is a review copy, you know, but I think I'm going to just order another one, you know, just to keep for myself, because you know, I really like this, you know, and I really want to continue using this, you know, for my work. Alright, but that's all I have to say about Tennis by Alex Ng. You know, I want to thank Henry over at Henry Harris Presents for sending me a copy of this so that I can, you know, have a look at it, use it in my show, and also chat about it with you guys on this show. Alright, so if you want to have a look at Tennis by Alex Ng, please head over to the link in the description box down below. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys got something out of today's episode. Hope you had fun. Do stay safe, take care of yourselves, have fun with your magic and your mentalism, and I'll see you on the next one.